YouTube, what's happening? It's your boy Casino G. You have tapped into Casino G TV, where it's too real for TV. That's why we keep it in them YouTube streets. Now, everybody's wondering what happened to Big Meech. Where's he at? Where he been? Hiding under the rock? We don't know what's happening, man. It seemed like he made some real bad business decisions, man. Fell out with Rick Ross, fell out with 50, and he's going nowhere. But I found this interview on Street Stars TV, the real life. You feel me? And this is an interesting interview because he's saying some things about young Meech. You know what I mean? That seems kind of crazy and terrible. But I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe to that, share to a friend, all that good stuff. Let's get to this. What he has to say. Just a little clip of this, and we're gonna talk about it.
And Rick Ross beef, you the stupidest in the world. The first time Big Meech's mama ever had a Mercedes Benz is when 50 Cent bought it for her about 3-4 years ago. Right?
That's bad. Now, Big Meech is supposed to be this big old kingpin, having all these money, having billboards and everything else, and you tell me just 3-4 years ago his mom was just now getting her first Mercedes Benz? That's kind of bad. That's not a good look.
In the same house he was living in when it was getting all that money. Now, sometimes our parents can be stubborn and don't want to move. With all the action you got going, you were supposed to force that. You hear me? But you weren't concerned with that. You was concerned with trying to let everybody know, hey, I sell dope. Like that shit was legal. This nigga was running around, and nigga had a sign, I sell dope. Right? And listen, you ain't even got to, there's no investigation required.
That's facts.
He telling the whole world I sell dope, so we know he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. But my overall point is that he came home, and I don't know if he thought he was bigger than the program, but the program ain't based on dope. The program is based on money, power, influence. You don't have the money no more, so therefore you don't have the power. Because your money came out of the power. All the
facts.
All the goofy, dumbass, following ass, cock-sucking ass, glizzy goblin ass. It was about the money.
That's facts.
That's what got you the power. They wasn't following you because you was a charismatic ass. You ain't Martin Luther King. You wasn't Malcolm X. We now know you was a bumbling ass idiot who just had a dope plug. You inspired to be the biggest drug dealer in the history of the world. During a time when you watched, he from Detroit. You grew up watching all them dope best friends, YBI, White Boy Rick, Maserati Rick, Demetrius Holloway. You grew up watching all these fall. Right? Listen, we are forgetting that this openly advertised that he sold dope.
He did that.
Didn't mind doing it. So what did you think he was going? If it wasn't for drug trafficking, what do you think he was gonna come home and do? Don't forget that when BMF got indicted, the one thing that is missing, they didn't have no major forfeiture hearings. What does that mean? You made almost $1 billion in 10, 15 years, and there was no major forfeiture. Name a drug crew of that magnitude who don't own no buildings, no salons, no liquor stores, no car dealerships. He made the strip club in them rap they do it in Atlanta. Them 20 but fruity ass they do it. It was in Detroit went out there and turned that goddamn strip club scene up, right? You don't own one strip club.
Dang.
So during the indictment, there was no, go look it up, there's no major forfeiture hearing. They didn't take no 100 houses, 25 pieces of property from New York to LA.
Didn't they take the White House?
What the was that?
The house that T owned in LA.
That's T. There's a difference between T, even right now to this day.
Oh, that White House was in Atlanta? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Atlanta. Okay. But it's a difference between, listen, Southwest T and Big Meech. They're brothers, but they're two totally different people, right? T has always been pro-Detroit. Big Meech went around with Detroit. He was running with niggas from LA. From St. Louis, from Memphis, from Atlanta, niggas from Miami. T whole squad, his own personal squad was Detroit. He never turned his back on Detroit, if that matters.
Let's see, okay, then why?
So we're gonna stop it right there. And this is interesting that a lot of people look up the Big Meech and he's a big kingpin, he has this big old name. But how can you kind of respect someone that really didn't take their people out the hood? You turn your back on 50 Cent and went against the grain. The first time that 50 Cent basically met your mom and everything, he made sure she was driving a nice car, got her a Benz and all that. And for years, you were the kingpin on billboards, selling all this dope and everything else, and you never got your mom out the hood. Like he said on here, I would have forced it. You know, some people don't want to leave the hood, but you gotta force it. But it seemed like he wasn't forcing because he didn't even have his mom basically driving a nice car. It took 50 Cent to do that. You feel me? So that's kind of crazy saying. And then there's talking about, you know, how they did all this stuff and never had no businesses. Like it seemed like, yeah, all Big Meech was a drug dealer. He didn't really invest his money. So he really, I get people say he's a businessman because he, you know, did the cocaine thing and stuff like that. But are you really a businessman when you never invested your money? You had billions of dollars, billions, and you never invested in not one legit business? Is crazy. And never really got your mom out the hood and never had her driving a new car is crazy. It seemed like that's all you was worrying about, selling dope. He got a good point. You guys need to let me know how you guys feel about the situation. I need y'all to leave some comments, subscribe, share to a friend, and all that good stuff. If you're rocking with your boy Casino G, with Casino G TV, where it's too real for TV, and that's why we keep it on the YouTube streets.